Welcome to another episode of Follow Up Genius. I'm Wesley Rocha with my co-host
Groot.
No first name.
Steven Growers. My friends call me Groot.
All right, and we are going to be talking about leads. Which lead sources should you be using, and which ones suck, or do they even
suck? Or do you suck?
Yeah, maybe it's the agents that suck. We don't know. Maybe
I think that's generally the case.
But either way, we're going to be talking about what leads from what sources are good, which ones are bad, which ones you should be using, and which ones you wouldn't want to touch with a 10-foot stick. So that's all in this episode of Follow Up Genius.
Welcome to the Follow Up Genius Show, a show dedicated to helping real estate agents find their fortune in follow-up by creating stronger relationships, generating more referrals, and converting more leads. Hosted by Wesley Rocha, founder and CEO of LinkU, and Steven Groders, real estate entrepreneur and high-performance coach. Follow us at followupgenius.net.
Okay, so which lead sources suck? We see this all the time. People want to know, where do you go for the magic leads?
Well, they all suck, dude. You know that. Zillow leads suck. Trulia leads suck. Realtor leads suck. Facebook leads suck. Instagram leads suck. You know, last week we talked about friends and family. They suck. Every lead
all
source
leads
suck.
Every lead source sucks, everyone. And now that you know that, you know,
they suck.
These leads are going to suck. So now what do I do?
Well, hold on. Let's go back. Let's just go back here a second and let's talk about that, because the reason why we're having this topic of conversation is you and I remember some pretty significant size groups, and we were looking through some topics like, what do people, what do you do when friends and family buy from somebody else? How do you feel about that? How do you feel? And the second one, it was leads.
Yeah.
Lead
I'm
sources.
looking at one right now. It says realtor.com leads, yes or no, or you'll see something like that. Zillow leads.
Yes or no.
Should I do it?
Right. And then out of the 500 comments, like 300 of them, like, don't do it. Quit giving them money. Those leads suck. So what we did is we went not through all 300, but we pulled up people who were really active in those leads suck comments.
Well,
right?
yeah, let's pull some up. So we have
just push on him. Push on him. Don't say any names. Because they're probably in our ecosystem.
Why do you think they're so bad? I didn't have any luck with Realtor.com.
Pull him up.
Suck.
Pull him up because he's got a photo on.
I'm going to read some of these off. No, run Facebook ads. Much cheaper with warmer leads. Wow, this thread has like 65 people saying no's and everyone else saying.
But isn't Realtor?
Few people saying yes.
Isn't Zillow truly a Realtor top of funnel? Aren't those the best leads that are out there?
I don't know.
What you were going to do is
build your own funnels.
You were going to pick one of those guys, pull up their profile. Just
all right.
Pick
Let's see. Waste of time. Here's another guy here.
Would you just put your finger
waste
on
of
one?
money? $20K a year for almost nothing. Google them. So they're saying no way. I wasted $20,000.
Put his info in Google.
So I'm going to copy. We're not going to say his name. Right, we don't want to put people on blast here on Follow Up Genius, or do we? That might get us more ratings. It might get more ratings. I'm just
if
kidding.
We have a roast. Well, it's kind of a roast every week.
So who are you? Well, first, who are you in this conversation? I want everyone to label yourself. Someone puts the question out. Facebook leads, should I do it? Yes or no? Zillow leads, yes or no? Trulia, yes or no? Craigslist, yes or no? Craigslist at all.
They're still around?
I'm just messing with that one. Realtor.com, yes or no? And who are you in this opinion? Are you yes? Are you no? Are you I have no idea?
Just put a comment in the box.
You tell me.
Below.
I'm going off what you say. So, okay. So we're going to
Would
take
you
this
Google
gentleman.
that guy?
Yeah, I'm going to take his name right now, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to Google it right now. Let me find it. Okay. Google blank in
I saw that.
Realtor.
I just saw that profile.
We got the profile up.
One review or two?
He has two. He actually has 2 reviews.
How old are they?
Let's take a look. No, it says no sales in the past.
So he's got a solid track record.
In the past 12 months.
Solid track record.
2 reviews.
When was the last review he had?
the last property posted was from 2015.
So he's active.
And the last review was posted in 2014 and 2015.
So I would really like to call your name out. If you went into Realtor.com, Zillow.com, Trulia.com, and you clicked on your name with your profile, would you hire you? I asked that question I posted that one time in a post, like, yeah, my brother-in-law bought a house from somebody else, blah, 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 blah. And I went and looked her up, and it literally looked like a mugshot that she posted on Zillow. It was black and white, faces, It was all torn up and all that other stuff. I'm like, would you hire you? Reviews are so very important, you know? Wes, when was the last time you made a major purchase of something?
So, for example, sometimes we'll get calls from lenders or capital specialists, stuff like that, especially for business.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally I'll answer my phone and take a call, just curious. And a lot of it's just curious. I'm just curious what they're going to offer, what they're going to say, who is this company. And then the first thing I'll usually do, especially because these names aren't known, so I don't know. There's so many of them. I get calls from so many.
Mm-hmm.
I look them up in Google
Mm-hmm.
and find, well, let's just get an idea what their reviews are or what their website is. Do they have a website? What's on the website? What does that look like? And
is it HTML because you're in the industry?
Well, no, I just look at the website because if they have a website, it's professional and stuff like that. You kind of get an idea like, oh, they're real, right? As opposed to there's a lot of lenders I'll call that I look up their website. There's no website. So I'm like, well, I don't know if they're new. They haven't been around a while, whatever. There's no website at all. And I'm like, what's your company name again? And there's no website. And then there'll be the other ones where like, oh, okay, I can find their website. Then the next thing I might do is look for the review, or their reviews. And then, sometimes it'll be great. Sometimes they won't be. And, you always have, for the most part, they're good, 4.0, 4.5. You always have people who are going to complain. But,
always.
Overall, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we look at reviews. Or if you're buying something electronic or something we don't know about, these microphones, you name it, you look reviews just to kind of see, a refrigerator or something. Yeah.
If someone's going to take the time to give you their personal information, to give you an email, to give you a phone number, right? They're probably pretty interested.
Yeah.
The reason they probably don't pick up the phone is one, they can see they got caller ID. They can see who's calling, right?
Right.
They've already checked out. They don't want to talk to you.
Very possible.
I think it's really possible.
Yeah.
Because why do we think in real estate that if somebody clicks on our website that we're entitled to a commission check? You hear me say that all the time.
Or even the conversation started and all of a sudden they start ghosting
Poof,
you.
they're gone.
Yeah, like
right?
Why?
Maybe
I
they
don't
had a chance
understand
to
what
check you
happened.
out. Maybe the personalities didn't match. When Larry walks into a listing appointment, the dude is there for 15 minutes. And he basically just puts a seller's disclosure on the table and says, hey, man, I'm going to go check out your house. I'll let you know what a buyer will pay for your house when I get back. And you're like, oh, you want me to show you around? He says, nah, I don't need to hear about where the baby was born.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell you what a buyer will think, right? There's no presentation or listing pitch because his digital presence did it all before he got there. There's a system that he put into place. When he has a listing appointment, right? You send them to Facebook, 5,000 friends and family. You send them to Zillow, 500 reviews, 2,000 sales. All the selling's done for him when he gets there. All he's got to do is show up.
Right.
It is very relevant that you build a good profile. If you don't know how to do one, go to Zillow. They have step-by-step instructions. Or my friend Ryan, I shouldn't say his name, he started this website called google.com. Otherwise, Google how to build up reviews. Come on. You Googled on how to get on this show.
Joke. Okay, so one of the things then is when it comes to these opinions, right? One lady says you're better off throwing flyers from an airplane than using, let's say,
I would really like to see her profile.
Realtor.com leads. So if most of these people feel like real leads suck, it looks like it's an 80-20 rule at play here. Now you'll have some that
90-10, I think.
Yeah.
Really, realistically.
And then you'll have some who say, no, I mean, I crush it with these leads. So that comes to, well, why are the realtors, or why are these leads, whether they be from Zillow, Realtor.com, wherever they may be, Facebook, why do most agents or people feel like they suck? One reason is people might be looking up the profile. What we did is we were just looking at people who say they suck and getting an idea of what's the typical agent who feels like they suck.
Exactly.
And what we find typically, and this isn't in all cases, but we typically find is the agents who say that they're not very good or the leads aren't good are usually the people, when you look at their profile, they don't really have much going on. They don't really have much of a presence. You search them on Google, they don't even have a website. They don't have.
They call you back 3 days later.
Yeah, who knows, right? Who knows how they're running it? So, but then you search the people who are killing it. It's like, whoa, nice website, nice profile, bunch of reviews, and that tells you something. So what you don't want to do is take advice, because let's be honest, 80-20 rule at play here. 80% of the industry is not so great at what they do, right?
90.
Or marketing.
I'm going to go 90-10.
Maybe 90-10.
Look
So
at the
think
shift.
about who's answering these questions.
Yeah.
When you go in there for advice and you're saying, hey, should I do this? You're getting advice from, where 80 and 90% of them don't actually have an idea what they're doing.
And they're taking advice from their peers who suck.
Exactly.
Right?
That's where I was getting to.
I'm just getting right to the point, right? Because I got something to say.
Yeah.
And those who know me know I always have something to say. But there are certain thresholds of reviews that change. I'd love to say her name right now. I told her a year ago, I said, everything changes at 100 reviews. Everything changes when you get 100 reviews. She was at like 35 or 40, right? She got to 100. She's grew. Everything's changing. Everything's changing. My Zillow guy called me. Congratulations. I got a little letter from so-and-so from Realtor. Congratulations. Everything changes once you get to triple-digit reviews. And the only way you can get reviews is you got to prep people up front for that, right? We get all the reviews at the uncomfortable copy-making portion time while I'm just sitting around waiting for my check. Sure. That's when we do the actual review for the people. We sit down and we walk them through.
Well, we should do an episode on reviews.
We should. We
and
really
could
should
dive into that process. And I'm sure if you'd like to see that, let us know.
Yeah.
But I like that because we can dive into what did you do to help her to essentially get those reviews, right?
Right.
So what we're basically saying now is the reviews are going to help. And that helps us just to see where you're taking advice from. But now let's get into what's the real deal with these leads and these lead sources.
The best leads out there are Zillow.
Zillow, Realtor.com, those types of things.
Zillow, Realtor.com, they're the best.
And the reason being, to explain it, is these leads are people who have intent, meaning they've probably searched Google, they've downloaded the app. These are people who are thinking of buying or selling, who have already taken several actions and already at the point where they are filling out a form or doing something to inquire about a listing or a realtor or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. That is what people spend money on to get people at the intent. They're in the buying phase. Yes. They're in the search phase of their quest to find a home.
Yes.
And that's why we say, well, when people say, well, where can I go get people want transactions magically fast, right? Mm-hmm. So you do. The only way you're going to get that to happen is buy leads from Zillow, Realtor, or run your own pay-per-click campaigns on Google with people searching. But obviously, that's a way more complicated. It's a little more complicated, obviously, because they're going to find people who are searching now. Those leads are very expensive, right?
$150 a pop.
Yeah, could be very expensive leads, but the close rate's going to be generally higher and sooner. The time frame is going to be sooner because they've already got to that point.
Much quicker.
However, some of them may already have agents. Some of them may have.
Some do, some don't.
Exactly. Because they're further along the process, right? As to maybe what I like to explain, like a Facebook lead. Facebook, it depends. You're going to have some people who you're targeting who have been searching, and those are your hotter leads. Mm-hmm. But that's a very small percentage.
Those are the worst leads out there unless you do it right.
Yeah, but the majority of them are going to be people who are really early in the phase. they're thinking about it. You know,
Right.
maybe they thought maybe I should buy a house, or maybe in the next 6 months, or maybe next year, and they did a search or they did some kind of action, and now they start. Facebook's like, hey, they're interested. They put them in the target audience, and now those are your ads are showing in front of them.
Right.
The frustration with some agents is like they're further out. A smaller percent are ready to go now. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
They're cheaper for that reason.
Much cheaper.
But it all comes to, and that's what the show is about,
Follow up.
follow up.
Follow up fast.
It's all about the follow up. So
Follow through.
how do you make, let's start with the Zillow and Realtor.com and those kinds of leads. How do you make the most success from those leads? What is it? What is the real deal? Because like you say, the check doesn't just follow the sky and in their hands.
It doesn't. And you know, we've spent millions of dollars at Zillow.
Yeah.
Right. Lots and lots. What we found out, what works, is you just call them fast. Like freaking
What's fast?
Like within 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So
We
lead comes
normally
in from Zillow.
Okay, so we've talked about this in other episodes.
Yeah, so if
before.
you wanted
we
the
literally
details on
dive
that-
over the desk to get to the
Okay.
phone, right? Because we have a model around. Could be $5,000. We call them right away. We don't do any pre-qualifying over the telephone. We don't send people off to get fitted for a wedding dress before taking them on a date. We go date people. But the whole key is our digital presence. We call back fast. Because if you're really about changing the experience, the first experience they have is me calling them back quick.
Right.
That's their first experience with me.
And so for that, you can, and we talk about this in another episode, so check it out.
Yep.
About some strategies and what you can do to follow up fast. ISA, an automated system like the ultimatefollowupmachine.com,
Mhm.
things like that.
The new age of follow-up.
Yep.
Right. Automation. And make that automation personalized.
Right.
If you can.
And then if they're not ready to go yet,
nurture them.
Right.
And on that same timeline there, I was reading earlier today that some dude was nurturing somebody for 4 years, never heard of him. Right? So what this young man did is he monitors his database very, very closely. He had a client go into a builder and purchase a house. Well, what this young man does is he had like out here in this marketplace, if you go every 6 months, that person you register, you no longer get paid on. Right? So he's got a little alert that pops up on his calendar. Hey, re-register Wes and Junie over at, KB Builders. He did that for 4 years. Every 6 months, updated this cat's information. So what's that? 8 times he went in? The people actually went a couple weeks ago and went in and bought a house, $1 million. That's following up.
Yeah.
And the guy never met him, but he kept him in the nurture pile, right? So when the guy walked into the builder, are you working with a builder? Or are you working with an agent? He says, yeah, I've been working with this guy. He brought me over here before and registered. Who are you working with? And the guy pulled his name up on his phone because he had an email from him. And they're like, oh, yeah, he registered you a few weeks ago. And the guy's like, I haven't talked to him in 4 years. That's following up.
Yeah, so we have the follow up fast. We have the nurturing, keeping in touch with those leads as well. And then I was reading this right here. One of the positive responses just says, "Hey, I'm in the minority. I'm actually in Kentucky. Average price point only about $150,000, but has his best year of the last 3 since he started purchasing those leads, and he does." Send them a text 1 minute within, or has a system that sends them a text within follow-up. He says follow-up is key.
Let's look them up. We got a second here. Just copy and paste and look him up. And if he does have a good profile, we'll give him a shout out, because why don't we give accolades to the pros? We don't need to embarrass the ones who are not, because you do know who you are. Oh, let me see. Oh. Flipping around a little bit because I can see all the stars. 4.9 stars. How many reviews?
2.
2 reviews. How many listings?
None posted. 18 all time, but those are all from 2015. So it doesn't look like he's listing his
What's his
newest
track
stuff.
record?
14 years experience.
14 years, and how many sales last year?
It says no sales the past 12 months.
So there's a guy right there, doesn't have a huge profile.
Yeah.
But he does have reviews, and his profile, if you notice something, is built out very well.
No, this guy actually this is, and his he has the same profile as the other guy who said run away. The difference, I could tell the difference here. They have the same profile. The difference is the follow-up. I guarantee you that the 1 minute follow-up is what's making it all work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's probably a small market, so there's probably not much pickings to choose from. The more competitive, the more important these things are going to be. But I guarantee it's the follow-up alone. So this goes to show you, because if you're feeling like all hope is lost, my profile sucks.
It's
not all lost. It's going to help. You need to do it. But you know what's even more important than that? The follow-up.
Oh,
because it don't matter. You can have 25, 50, 100 reviews, and if you're not following up like you're supposed to, then you're not going to get the deal. The thing is, if you have 100 reviews, more than likely you're following up fast. That's just...
Well, yeah, if you got 100 reviews,
the chances are you're doing something really well, right? But it goes to show you, I bet you if we were to talk to the other guy and say, hey, look, what you spent the leads on $20K, this and that, whatever, I guarantee you, if we were to talk to him and look at his situation, we would say, when did you follow up with these leads?
Within a minute.
And that's exactly what he's not going to say.
Remember Javier we had on a few weeks ago?
Javier.
Same deal.
Right. He's going to say, well, I called him when I had time. There you go. That's the other guy, was Tom, the one who said, don't do it, run away.
That's like calling your plumber.
The other thing, too, that I noticed a lot of people are doing is not, and we should do another episode of this, but that's tracking, right? So
nobody tracks anything.
You don't know what your ROI is. So a lot of things like, oh, that didn't work, but did it? But did it work? So
they do work, Wes. It's the leads. Again, we've had this conversation a million times. Leads work, agents don't. We've done this to ourselves. I really wish there was a way that we could show this video of Greg Schwartz, who used to be the former CEO of Zillow. He's like, y'all have done this to yourself. The number 2 complaint at Zillow is? Can't get anybody to call me back.
Yeah.
The number 1 is his estimate. Number 2 is I can't get anybody to call me back. And that just still blows my mind, right? That nobody will call somebody back when they're spending thousands of dollars a month on leads. We've done it to ourselves because, for 50, 60 years, we've held on to all the information called the MLS, right?
Yeah.
Now that we have all these platforms out there and we have more power in the palm of our hands than time anybody for us, right? That consumer can just start looking at anything that they want to. They just want to line themselves up with a pro, right? So in our marketplace, if you don't have 100 reviews, you're not a really good presence. It all boils down to speed to lead. And Javier proved that.
Exactly.
Right? I bet if we had that gentleman on, I bet you ask him, what's your success? Oh, speed to lead.
Yeah.
People are like, man, that was fast.
And the one who didn't have success was either profile or
never called back in 3 days. It's like this, Wes. It's getting a little warm here. I noticed inland, it's like in the 80s. You got your air on?
Yeah.
Do you?
In the summer.
If your air broke today and you called somebody, how long would you wait to call another air conditioning repairman? Would you wait 3 days?
Maybe 15 minutes.
Right? Why in real estate do we think we're so entitled just because of click? Oh, they'll wait. They'll wait. Consumers know the national average workday for a realtor is 1.5 hours per day. They got time. Why can't they call me back?
Yeah.
Same with your cousin. Why didn't your cousin buy from you? Maybe you didn't call them back. Call people back.
So in the end, what it really comes down to when it comes to all these leads and what should you do it, should you not, there are things to consider. Of course, there's going to be, are those leads being shared between you and other agents? What is ideally, if they're not shared, that'd be ideal. But most of these companies will have very special restrictions and circumstances if they're going to give you leads. And in fact, I know with Zillow and stuff, you almost have to qualify to get certain types of leads. There's a ton of changes going on. And this all has to do with the lack of follow-up. if you're wondering when they start telling you, well, to do this, you have to have X number of reviews, you have to have X number of transactions, it's because they're now vetting the people they're going to even give the leads to. But
dude, they are going to your office to look at your systems and procedures. The only reason why I know they're in ours a few weeks ago, they're like, wow, yeah, we're going to duplicate.
Exactly.
Right.
So just keep that in mind. So anyway, so we have the what Zillow's doing, Realtor.com, all these places. The leads can't do work, and you have to know what kind of leads are, what to expect. And if you're not getting and you have to know what to say, of course, once you get them on the phone. But generally, if you're finding leads not working, then it's something else. So if you find that you're using a lead source, whether it be Realtor.com, Zillow, Facebook, any of these things, you're getting leads, which are interested people providing name, phone number, email, things like that, and you're having a difficult time converting or getting traction, then you have to look at the offer. What are you offering? What are you saying, right? What is your review? What does your profile look like? Do you have an attractive website up if someone were to search your name? And again, the reviews on Zillow or whatever. The other thing is, how quickly are you following up with these people when they inquire? Are you waiting a day, hours, a week to follow up? Mm-hmm. Those are the first places I'd look and make sure those are all in line. I think if you just have those in line, right?
No, absolutely.
Am I missing anything? Then you should see some results, some
Big
ROI.
time.
And then obviously your longer term nurture and retargeting and content value and all that kind of stuff plays into it to increase that close rate. But just up front, out of the gate, to get some kind of return, you have to make sure you're doing those things.
Yeah. If you need help, go to your broker. And before you go to your broker, why don't you look him up? See when was the last time they sold something. Look at their things, because a lot of these brokers, as you well know, they're teaching stuff that's 30 years old. Timeline, motivation, you got something to sell, pre-approved, pre-qualified, before I over me, yeah, that type of stuff. I wanted to say this because it's so relevant. Do you know what an online lead is, Wes? Do you know what an online lead is? I'm going to look at the camera. Do you all know what an online lead is? I'm going to answer that for you. All an online lead is somebody's SOI they ain't followed up with. That's all an online lead is. Right?
Yeah.
You laugh.
If they've had an agent in the past, that's true.
67% of the online leads at Zillow, they got something to sell. 7 out of 10 people got something to sell. They had to buy that from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me 70% of the people have passed or got out of the business? I don't think so. Buy, die, unsubscribe, send me a restraining order. That's when your follow-up should quit.
All right.
Follow up, follow fast. Yeah, follow up fast, follow through with what you say, and then follow them around for the rest of your life.
All right, so there's your answer. What lead, maybe if it is an answer, it's, the leads are generally going to be good in any of those types of sources as long as you have those things in place. Yeah. If you don't have those things in place, then any leads you generate anywhere are going to suck for the most part, unless you literally have someone handing a transaction or a person to you, and those are very rare and very hard to find. Mm-hmm. There is no magic pill, people. There's no magic bean or anything like that. Everything requires some kind of work, some kind of something, no matter how easy other people or services or vendors or whatever you see might make it seem. There's always work somewhere to be done. We can only make it as easy as time and realistically possible and allows, which brings another topic to mind, but we'll cover that later.
We got all kinds of
That
topics.
is all we have. We are out of time today. Thank you for tuning in with us on Follow Up Genius.
Just remember, follow up, follow through, follow around, buy, die, unsubscribe, send me a restraining order. That's when your follow-up efforts should quit.
All right. Until next time, it's Wesley and Steven. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Follow Up Genius Show. Get the show notes and discover our fantastic bonus member-only content when you become a Follow Up Genius member. Join today free at followupgenius.net. The Follow Up Genius Show is sponsored by LinkU.